Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to discuss DeAndre Hopkins and his introductory press conference to the Tennessee Titans. And we're also going to get into Mike Vrabel and his press conference, introducing us to the training camp period. Practice starts officially tomorrow morning. So we're going to hear training camp news. Now, hopefully not too much news, because if you're hearing a lot of news, usually that's injuries. I want things to be low key. I want to hear that players are doing well, the offense looks good, the defense looks good. If we're actually getting news, it's probably injury news. So let's hope for some, good, things to come out of camp and not just straight up news, because if it's news, it may not be great news in the upcoming days. But DeAndre Hopkins, he had his press conference today. There wasn't too much that was interesting here, but I still wanted to go ahead and cover it because, this is one of the more anticipated signings that we've had in a while, hence why he had his whole press conference here. So I think one of the more interesting things that he mentioned was that he had still some communication with Mike Vrabel. After he left Houston in Arizona, there was still some communication there. Vrabel would always be one to reach out if Hopkins had a good game, and even if he had a bad game. He even referenced one bad game that Hopkins had, in which Hopkins should have had a catch that he didn't get, and Mike Vrabel called him out for that. And interesting, that Vrabel would do that. I wonder if it's something that he does earnestly, or also if it's something that he's just always thinking in the back of his mind. I want to maintain relationships with players, because you never know down the road if we could reconnect. And I wouldn't blame him, by the way. Look, I don't need you to be the most upstanding person. If you're a shrewd operator, I respect it, particularly if you're a head coach. So if that's the strategy that he employs, or maybe you're just being genuine, I don't know. I don't really care. But either way, it worked, because down the road, Hopkins still felt comfortable with him, still felt comfortable with Tim Kelly. Hopkins also referenced Derrick Henry being a big reason as to why he signed with the team. So, and there's not many of you out there, but for those of you that want to downplay Derrick Henry's value, yeah, that's why you probably shouldn't do that. Now, we'll get into the whole re-signing him and how much that's going to be probably after the season. I don't think there's any chance he's going to get extended before or during. But something to keep in mind. I mean, when people think of the Tennessee Titans, they think of Derrick Henry. And if I had to, let's say we had to rate, let's say 0 to 100 in terms of recognizability rating, okay? And let's say you could give this rating to every single player in the NFL. I believe that Derrick Henry, I'd give him like an 84.5, let's say, in my very anecdotal scale that I just created here. Number 2 for this team, I mean, I guess it's Tannehill, who would be like 50. Okay, and then maybe Byard, who'd be also like 50. And then Simmons is coming on the way up, but he's like 40. I mean, he's our recognizable face by far. I mean, it's not even close, especially with Lawan gone, because Lawan would have been like 70, with the busted with the boys. But I mean, it's Derrick Henry, and that's it. I mean, that's what people think about when they think about this team. He's synonymous with this team, period, point blank. So, hey, he was a big reason as to why DeAndre Hopkins signed, the ability to team up with him. And we're going to see what type of duo that is, and overall what type of offense that this is. Hopkins also referenced that, he's doing some different things in terms of his training now that he gets older. I'm not too particularly concerned about that. I mean, I think wide receivers fall off in their 30s, early 30s, regardless of whatever training you have. Look, I've seen it happen with Andre Johnson, who was in fantastic shape. Julio Jones, he's just hamstrung at this point. But again, his hamstrings, they keep flaring up. There's nothing you could do about that. AJ Green kept himself in great shape. He still fell off. Terrell Owens kept himself in great shape. He still fell off. Hell, he's in great shape now. And he still fell off. So there's only so much you can do. But yeah, when it's your time to fall off, you'll fall off. But, good to hear. And he is going to miss a couple of the first days of training camp. Now, he's been excused for this. He has some things to take care of. And, considering the fact that he just signed, it makes sense. He has apparently some things to move around, family-wise, etc. So he's being excused. Nothing to be too concerned about. He also addressed some, rumors that he may not be the greatest practicer, that he's not, that intense or enthused about practice. And to me, he was able to calm those concerns. I'm not really concerned, but I think he's going to come in here and work pretty hard. So I'm not really worried about that aspect either. I think everything will be fine on that front. So that was pretty much it for DeAndre Hopkins, and we'll see whenever he actually starts to camp and how he performs. We also had Mike Vrabel, who had some quotables today. I think most notably, they're still going to stick to Peter Skoronski at guard, particularly left guard. So he basically said it to an emphatic enough to me to where I don't even know if there's a competition. I think he literally was just like, yeah, Skoronski's guard. We're playing him at guard. That's it. We're not even really playing him at left tackle at all. Or we're not planning to. So I think Diller's your left tackle and Skoronski's your left guard, which we'll see how that works out. I know some people still aren't thrilled with taking a number 11 overall pick for a guy that is playing guard at the very least his rookie year. Well, that's what happened. So you can just get over that. And then in terms of the right tackle position, he said that the people that are in consideration to start instead of Nicholas Petit-Frere, as he is going through his 6-game suspension for being, sorry, NPF, an idiot, is Jamarco Jones. Yikes. Who's bare. I mean, can he play tackle? I guess. Jalen Duncan, our 6th-round pick out of Maryland. Again, a guy that I thought was going to go a lot higher than that. I thought he was going to go 3rd or 4th. So I still want to see if this guy can play. Now, it's us kind of starting a late round pick week 1. Usually you don't want to do that. However, I will also remind you, last year the Bears and the Colts found left tackles in the 5th round. The Bears in Braxton Jones and I can't remember the Colts left tackle, their new left tackle's name, but they found tackles late. They started basically week 1 and they were good. Left tackles, okay? Not even right tackles, left tackles. So you can do it. But it's, is it likely that they're going to perform well? Probably not. You'd prefer to do something else, but I would give Jalen Duncan a fair shot. Obviously, we brought in George Fant. If you don't know already, we brought in George Fant, the former New York Jet. He's been a swing tackle. Brought him in for a visit last Saturday. No signing as of this moment. He should be cheap. That's someone that we should talk. I'm surprised we didn't even pick up the phone and call Isaiah Wynn. Although now NPF wasn't suspended yet by the time Wynn, because I'm pretty sure Wynn signed in July before. Oh, well, it's July now. I'm pretty sure he signed before NPF was suspended. I'd have to check the timing on that. But considering the fact he's a former Patriot, would have made sense to me. And I think Wynn, while he's been inconsistent, I'm surprised he's gonna just be a backup this year. I still think he could, be a low-end starter in the league. Fant, same thing. So, Fant's out there. If you want to go get Fant, sure. If you think Duncan can hold it down, sure. I would just get Fant anyway. Because, look, I know it's not my $2 million to spend, but if the $2 million's there, and it should be. I mean, I don't know how, we still don't know the details of how this DeAndre Hopkins deal is actually structured. We do know that Bayard saved us $3 million, maybe like 2.6 actually, I have to say, with his pay cut. But we don't know if it's a base salary of $13 million for DeAndre Hopkins this year. We don't know that yet. A lot of people are assuming that. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? But I need to see that. I don't think that's been confirmed yet. And I also don't know the guaranteed money on that contract yet. So we still need to know a little bit more when it comes to that before we can move forward with that. But I mean, I can't see how you don't have $2 million to find somewhere to, spend on George Fant. I don't know. But hey, if you want to just let Jamarco Jones and Jalen Duncan, and they also mentioned Andrew Rupcich, who was an undrafted rookie last year, and then John Ojen, I can't remember what his name is. What's his name? I just literally looked it up. John Ojukwu, who was a tackle out of, where is he out of? Out of Boise State. Don't know much about either one of them. The undrafted rookies. Well, I guess one's a sophomore now. But, I wouldn't expect either one of them to really show out and claim the right tackle position. So I think you're looking at Jamarco Jones or Jalen Duncan, unless if George Fant is signed, or if they want to move Daniel Brunskill, who's actually played right tackle, to that position. That's also possible. I saw some people mentioning Andrew Norwell, the guard that was just released by the Washington Commanders. Number one, he's completely fallen off. Number two, he's a left guard. He's played left guard his entire career. So if you're signing him because you want him to come in here and play right guard, okay, fine. Yeah, can he go from left guard to right guard? Sure. Then so that way Brunskill can play right tackle? Sure. I think that's lazy. And I think you're just throwing names out there to throw names out there. I think Andrew Norwell is a left guard. He's played left guard. I've seen him play nothing else but left guard. I think he's a left guard at this point. I mean, he's been in the league for a while, too. So I'm sorry. I don't think that's really going to happen. I think Fant, hey, he's a true tackle. You need a tackle. Go get Fant. That's what I would do. We'll see if they end up doing that. So that's it. That's pretty much going to do it for this video. DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Vrabel's press conferences. Again, training camp practices begin tomorrow. Pray that we hear good things and no injuries. I can't remember I don't think it was the first practice, but it was like damn near the first week that Harold Landry went down, and it was a damper. So that's something that we need to avoid. No injuries, no injuries. And again, if we do get some injuries, oh boy, do we really have to look at what the hell is going on with our training staff, with our facilities, with our food, with our air, with everything. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.